Hi everyone and welcome back to my channel. Today I wanted to do a quick impressions video for Nioh: The World Ends With You. The demo came out this past Friday and I got to try it out the other day on the Nintendo Switch, so here are some thoughts on it. The new, or Nioh: The World Ends With You, follows the adventures of a teenager named Rindo and his best friend Fret as they scramble around the ultra-stylish, delightfully candy-colored Shibuya ward of Tokyo, trying to survive a phenomenon known as a Reaper's Game, which forces people to form teams and use special telekinesis-granting pins in order to defeat monsters called Noise and score points. Whoever scores the most points wins the game, whoever loses gets quote-unquote erased. Rindo and Fret of course have no idea how they got mixed up in the game, and the fun of the story is figuring out what happened to them and why. Now the first thing that jumps out at me are the visuals. Well, the awesome music too, which is an eclectic, catchy mix of rock and hip-hop and remixes from the first game, a game I love back in the day, and what was I saying? Oh yes, the visuals. I dig the colorful comic book style graphics with their edgy black panels and speech bubbles that pop up when a character is speaking. I can't say it has quite the same impact on me as the first game since it's no longer as novel, but it's still a super cool aesthetic. Although things looked a bit stretched out to me both on my TV while playing docked on the Switch and in handheld mode, but I think that's just the game's aesthetic? Maybe an effect of certain low-angle camera shots? Maybe? I don't know, it's not bad, it's just noticeable to me. I am pretty sure I saw a tiny bit of frame rate dipping, but that's not a deal breaker by any means, so whatever. Now aside from the colorful graphics, I'm also digging the fashion in this game, which is appropriate since Shibuya is one of the youth havens of Tokyo. Outfits are a zany mix of colors and patterns, and even the pins in this game are stylish. Now, so far the cast of characters don't pop quite as much as their vibrant clothes do, but I like the duo of Rindo and Fret. Between Fret's over-the-top enthusiasm and Rindo's apathetic sarcasm, there's some amusing banter between them, and I also very much enjoy the character Shoka, who goes out of her way to dump on these two constantly. The jury's still out on the rest of the cast, including the mysterious Swallow, who's obsessed with a Pokemon Go-esque game, and Sho, who's as enigmatic as he is cocky, but at least he's useful in a fight, and math class, apparently. Speaking of fights, let's talk about the gameplay. The demo is a mix of limited but interesting exploration and satisfying, fast-paced combat. When not in combat, Rindo races around the streets of Shibuya, listening to people's conversations and scanning the area looking for clues about daily missions, which so far consists of riddles or puzzles that must be solved using Rindo and Fret's psychokinesis powers in order to progress the Reaper's Game, aka the story. While I don't mind using Rindo to scan an area for clues, which involves a simple tap of the R button, I really dislike Fret's reminding ability, where he attempts to piece together an image in his mind that will help an NPC remember something important. This involves the player attempting to slowly piece together a fragmented image with both analog sticks, and it's a frustrating and tedious process that doesn't feel fun at all. What is fun is checking out the trendy, graffiti-tagged back alleys and streets of Shibuya, where you can amuse yourself reading people's thoughts about their daily lives. Although individual areas are kind of bite-sized, and some locales can only be entered upon meeting certain conditions, like say finding a special pin dropped by an enemy and handing it over to one of the Reapers that lurk around town and help oversee the Reaper's Game. And I mean, this is fine, I guess. I just wish the camera wasn't fixed. I know it might be fixed for art direction purposes or style reasons, but honestly considering part of the core gameplay is exploring your surroundings, it would be useful to be able to turn the camera on an axis so players can more easily take a look around to get a sense of the people, items, and most importantly, enemies in the area. Although to be fair, you can check out which type of enemies are around you if you look at the map. Speaking of enemies, battle of course is the star of the show, and it's pretty darn satisfying, although a bit hectic at times because there's a lot to keep track of. The heroes are controlled via the corresponding button their equipped telekinesis pin is mapped to, and players can move characters around the field of battle using the left stick, target foes by tilting the right stick, and evade attacks using the B button. Mechanically, it's fairly straightforward, and since each pin has a stamina meter attached to it, there's a fun rhythm to battle that's easy to learn but sometimes hard to master. I really like this because it makes for some good strategy. You have to time and properly coordinate attacks in order to A, avoid running out of stamina and getting pummeled by enemies, and B, do effective chain attacks called beat drop combos that in turn will feed a groove meter that once full will allow you to unleash a super powerful attack. Now I'm not gonna lie, getting the timing down for these chain attacks while avoiding stamina, depletion, and enemy punches was pretty difficult at first. Everyone else says they had an easy time with the battle system, but it took me quite a few tries to get a super high rank in battle, or effectively win chained battles, meaning battle more than one group of enemies in a row so that the enemy drop rate for cool new pins increases. FYI, upping the game's difficulty is another way to increase the drop rate multiplier. But once things clicked for me and I got into the literal rhythm of things, combat became a lot more fun and way easier. I got a kick out of mixing and matching pin abilities in order to see what attacks worked well together. Should I combine long-range attacks with melee attacks, fire with ice attacks, etc., etc., and being able to evolve some of my pins to create a more powerful version of that pin is another welcome bit of strategy. Do I keep a pin equipped long enough to earn pin points to evolve it, or do I try out this new nifty pin an enemy just dropped in battle? Decisions. With over 300 pins to collect and a variety of enemies to try them out on, this game promises to offer some nice strategic depth. At any rate, this was a pretty nifty demo. What did you think of it? Too easy, too hard, just right, fun, no fun? Let me know in the comments below. Thanks so much for watching, guys. See you later.